Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greenbrier Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. An update on your forecast for your Monday. Still be weather aware today and into tonight. It'll be another forecast where we have some risks with heavy rain and strong storms again. A number of us in the state have flood watches, watching for the potential of flooding. Keep eyes on streams and rivers too. It's listed until 11 o'clock tonight in Charleston. Check locally for timing, but generally probably the same. 1 to 2 inches of rain listed in the watch. Locally higher amounts are possible as well. We'll have to watch for a risk of excessive rain again. Had a high of 83 on your happy Father's Day and summer solstice, near to below average for that. Trace of rain yesterday. Now will be favored for accumulations today that could be on the higher side again. Slight risk of severe weather for most too, mostly for damaging wind potential with severe components today in some eastern, northeastern areas. Can't rule out a brief spin up of a tornado or some damaging or some large hail too. And with the excessive rainfall potential, we have a slight risk. So be mindful of flash flooding occurs again too. We have we'll call it a warm front that's near stationary this morning. That'll power northeast at some point, and then a sweeping cold front comes in again today through early tonight. Risks of strong to severe weather and heavy rain. For a Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Got some heat in Florida, some mid to upper 90s. Some areas out there, Tampa 96 approaching a daily record high. In northern areas, be mindful of rain, storms, mid to upper 70s. Panhandle spots, watching for risks of severe weather, heavy and excessive rain. East to west, risks of heavy and excessive rain, scattered severe storms into the south as well. Charleston, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, likely dry morning fog. And then Thursday night onwards, more chances of some showers and storms. Some highs in the mid to upper 80s in there, so we'll have to watch for more chances of rain after a couple of days with a break. Thursday night onwards into the weekend, some more chances of rain and storms.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greenbrier Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greenbrier Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greenbrier Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Welcome into the final hour of Metro News Midday. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Yeah, it's a somewhat stormy Monday afternoon, depending on where you are in West Virginia. And if you're not getting rained on, you will soon. Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes is going to join us a little bit later on to talk about that. And also after 2:30, we'll get to Open Line West Virginia. Nothing but your calls and text at 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It was 10 years ago tomorrow, and it was a highly predicted weather event. But I don't think any of us knew the extent of the damage that West Virginia was going to receive from those torrential thunderstorms. And when I say thunderstorms, I mean that's probably not the way that people in the Elkview, Clendenin area in Kanawha County or maybe in Greenbrier County would describe them. One of those in Greenbrier County was Jeff Campbell, broadcaster extraordinaire Jeff Campbell, and he joins us now. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for being here. So where were you 10 years ago tomorrow?
Well, 10 years ago tomorrow, I was working at Radio Greenbrier in Fairleigh, and I had to go to Union to do some sales calls, and it was just pouring the rain that morning, and I thought, I've got to go. I've just finally got to go. I was trying to wait for the rain to slack off a little bit. So finally at 10:30, I left Fairleigh and went to Union on 219. And when I got into Union, it stopped raining. Mm-hmm. I was over there till about 3:30 that afternoon, Didn't rain the entire time in Union when I was there. When I left town, started raining again on 219. When I got over to about Pickaway, started getting these alerts on my phone for a tornado warning, which obviously scared me. And I was able to make it back into Fairleigh. And when I pulled in our radio station parking lot there next to the fairgrounds, the atmosphere just had a weird vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was very cloudy. It had rained some there. And then I jumped on Facebook and started seeing photos from White Sulphur Springs up around the food line up on the eastern end of White Sulphur Springs, and saw the photos from the flood there, and it was just unbelievable what was going on at that time.
And for those that maybe aren't that familiar with the area where you were there in Fairleigh, and when you talk about White Sulphur Springs, what kind of a distance are we talking about between those two communities, Jeff?
Oh, White Sulphur to Fairleigh is probably, I would guess, 7-8 miles max.
And isn't it amazing, though? Because I was on the air. I was working for another broadcasting group in St. Albans at that time, and I was on the air. And this area of Charleston, St. Albans, points west, I mean, we got rain, we got heavy rain, but nothing like that. But, man, just a few miles up the road, you know, when you get into Clendenin and you get into Elkview, it was a totally different story. And it sounds that's the way it was in Greenbrier County as well.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, obviously, White Sulphur Springs got hit hard. Rainell got hit very hard as well. Up around Rennick, there were flood events from the Greenbrier River down from Rennick into Caldwell, which, you know, Caldwell's between White Sulphur Springs and Lewisburg. It was just it was an awful event that we hope we never have to see again.
Had you ever seen anything quite like that? Because that's one of the things in talking to people over the years, Jeff, that people say is that, man, they never saw anything at all like that.
You know, I remember the 1985 floods in November, early November of 85, but I don't remember the destruction that we had in 2016.
Talk about that, because when you have an event like that, Jeff, it just seems like you're never going to get back to normal. Talk about what the mood, you talked about Facebook. What was the mood like in the, let's say, the 12 hours to 24 hours after the rain stopped?
Well, I can tell you that on, June 23rd was on a Thursday. Friday morning, I got a call from Hoppy Kirchville at about, probably 8:30 in the morning. And he said, can you get to White Sulphur Springs? And I said, I don't know, because the evening before, people could neither get in or get out of White Sulphur. And that's how bad it was. I mean, it was really blocked off. There were people who were parking their cars on I-64 right above where the Greenbrier Sports Performance Complex is, and working themselves down the hill to be able to get back into their homes that evening. That's how bad it was. But I told Hoppy, I said, I don't know. I'll try. So he said, see if you can get to White Sulphur and let me know. Well, I was able to get over there, and as soon as I got to basically the White Sulphur Springs Caldwell exit 175 here on I-64, it was gravel road. There was so many gravel on the road. That's what I remember the most. And then I got into the town and went over to the park, Memorial Park, to see, a football field that I grew up playing on, and a baseball field there, and so many memories. It was just almost wiped away. But over time, obviously, everyone in town and everyone in the state really came together and, made sure that everything is back to normal.
Talk about that recovery effort in the, we always say that West Virginians are the best people on God's green earth because we all come to the defense, even though we may not have even known anybody. I just remember, all the broadcasting companies and all the churches going down there. And I talked to people that I did not know then, but I know now, that'll say, oh, yeah, I spent a week in Clendenin. I spent a week in White Sulphur Springs or two with my family. And, I mean, that's what West Virginians do, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I can think back to, Jim Justice opened up the Greenbrier to people that had no place to stay and allowed people to stay in there at no cost. And they used the Sports Performance Complex as a distribution center for people that needed water or needed cleaning supplies, needed food, things like that. There were people, former basketball coach who's now recently passed away, Buster Large, who won a couple state championships for Bluefield. He comes up from Bluefield to volunteer. Mm-hmm. There were people coming from all over the state. Then Senator John Unger came down from Berkeley County and tried to help, coordinate some of the non-government organizations, things like that. So, I mean, the people from all over the state just really coming in and helping out. Steve Newberry, who many people may remember as a great Mountaineer football player back in the 80s, mm-hmm. has Newberry Ford, a car dealership in Pearisburg, Virginia, right across the state line from Peterstown in Monroe County. They were collecting supplies and bringing them up to White Sulphur Springs and Rainelle to deliver. So, I mean, everybody just really stepped up, and it was great to see.
Again, we're talking with Jeff Campbell from Radio Greenbrier. All right, let's fast forward to today, Jeff. And, I mean, 10 years, tomorrow will be 10 years. And as we said earlier, that may have been the date, but the recovery went on. And in some cases, is still continuing today, because some things you can get the mud off of stuff, you can do all that, but sometimes you just can't bring it back like it was. Talk about some of those areas you mentioned: White Sulphur Spring, Caldwell, Rainelle. Talk about how those communities are doing today.
To be honest with you, I think they're doing great today based on, what's taken place over the last 10 years. There were parts of White Sulphur Springs, some residential areas that were kind of wiped out, and they developed this area called Hope Village, where, it allowed people to have new housing that was out of a flood zone, and it's created a small little community there in White Sulphur Springs off of Big Draft Road, and, a neighborhood of people who shared the same experiences 10 years ago tomorrow. That part has really taken off. The town is cleaned up. There's really not many areas, unless you knew where there was flooding, you wouldn't be able to see today.
And we're going to be throughout the week talking to a lot of these people that are in those communities. And one of the biggest success stories for me out of this tragedy is the community of Clendenin here in Kanawha County. Yep. And I've interviewed Mayor Kay Summers on the air many, many times. And what that community, if you went to that community 6 months, 8 months to a year afterwards, I'll be honest with you, you would have thought that the flood had just happened. That's how bad it looked. Right. a year removed. And by the time 2017 rolled around, it looked like it had just happened. But the way that particular community, and I know it's the same in Rainelle and some of these other areas, Jeff, the way that they have responded, and now in Clendenin, there's new restaurants that have opened. They have a new grocery store because their previous one was destroyed. I mean, that's good Mountaineer stuff right there, man.
Well, and the same thing in White Sulphur. There have been new businesses open up downtown. Most every storefront along Main Street is full today, and 10 years ago you wouldn't have thought that would be possible.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and we're keeping a close eye on the weather here. Again, we're not expecting anything close to that, but Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes is going to join us in the next segment to talk about it. And I can tell you that when you talk to people that have gone through something like that, they never quite look at a rainstorm the same way again. Has that been your experience?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I woke up this morning to an alert on my phone that there was a flood watch for Greenbrier County, and when you're right here on the doorstep of the 10-year anniversary, it makes you think back on what took place then.
Yeah. Jeff Campbell, Radio Greenbrier, I appreciate you joining us on the show today, man. Thanks a lot.
Dave, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's our good buddy Jeff Campbell. We all know him as Soup in this company out of the folks at Radio Greenbrier there in Greenbrier County. We're going to get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and text at 1-800-765-TALK, or you can text 304-TALK-304. What can we expect for this afternoon, and on the evening hours? There's some pretty heavy weather out there as we speak. Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes is going to join us next. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Every 65 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease. Many don't even know it.
I just knew that I wasn't the high-performing person I used to be. on the next State of Minds.
The number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. And that's very important to us.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
At Dan Cabot GMC. Now get up to $12,000 off any 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Shop our great selection of new Acadias and Canyons. Lease a 2026 GMC Canyon Elevation for only $575 per month. And don't forget to check out our quality pre-owned vehicles. At Dan Cabot GMC, shop the world.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. It's 2:22 Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nichols, and our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK 304. Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes joins us. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, good afternoon to you.
I could not, for the life of me, remember earlier. I was talking to Andrew Donaldson, who is a regular contributor to the show, big foodie, and he was posted on X about of something he had made, and he talked about putting ketchup on hot dogs, and I think that is an abomination. That's just me. But I was trying to remember, and I said it on the air. I said, well, it could be worse. You could put mayo on hot dogs like you do. Is it mayo or Miracle Whip?
I prefer Miracle Whip, but I'll do mayo.
All right.
But I prefer Miracle Whip.
Okay, with onions, right?
With onions, that is correct.
Okay, well,
yes.
He's a cheese and ketchup kind of guy on hot dogs.
Cheese and ketchup, I can see it, but not entirely a fan of that. I think, I think the hot dog is the ultimate divider amongst people with condiments because there's so much you can put on it.
True.
I mean, from chili to slaw to you name it.
Look, my wife's from Chicago. I mean, you talk about a monstrosity,
Of
a
yeah.
Chicago dog, and I love them. Absolutely love them. We've been spending some time, and we're going to all week talking about the anniversary of the 2016 floods. Break it down so people like me can understand what exactly happened to cause that, because this was not just your normal weather event.
No, it wasn't. So we had an anomalous amount of water in the atmosphere. When we say that, it's called precipitable water values. It's a measurement of literally the moisture that's within a column of air. So if you took let's say a water bottle, and you put that down on the floor or outside, on the lawn, and you took that and looked all the way up in the atmosphere and you can measure the amount of water that is contained within that entire column, and it was saturated from the ground all the way up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And then you had these storms that ran over the same areas.
Yeah, training, they call it.
Yeah. And so when you have that, I mean, you literally open the door to what was biblical style floods.
I mean, it really was.
It was.
It really was. And how much, just choose any of the communities that got hit hard. Clendenin, Elkview, Raynell. How much
down Greenbrier County?
How much rain?
I don't remember. I don't remember the specific numbers. Okay. I remember watching the numbers go up in regards to the amount of moisture, or the amount of water that was going past all these river locations. And I remember when it crested on that morning, and I'm standing up there on the Elk River Bridge that's going through downtown Charleston, and you're watching mobile homes and
people's
all sorts
lives.
of people's lives just disappearing.
Yeah,
and it was it was fascinating. All the while, so tragic, and you would get chills anytime you saw a camper trailer or something go by. You just get chills because you're like, that could have been mine. It could have been my family's. It could have, just enormous amounts of water.
It takes a lot to shock the weather people, because you guys and gals have seen it all. And it takes a lot to shock you.
I mean, I was standing there the morning after the F5 tornadoes blew through Moore, Oklahoma. That morning, 6 a.m. There's Al Roker, Today's Show. They're going live. I'm standing there. I'm looking. It was just mind-boggling. And to see, a sonic straw.
Yeah.
The straws are pretty stout.
Yeah.
I remember looking at a tree, and it had a sonic straw just driven right into it.
Wow.
Fascinating what can happen with weather, but it was scary that day.
Let's fast forward to today. What are we looking at now?
Severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for the following counties in West Virginia until 9 o'clock tonight. And that goes for, let's see here. Here's the entire list. And that is Berkeley, Grant, Greenbrier, Hampshire, Hardy, Jefferson, Mineral, Monroe, Morgan, Pendleton, and Summers counties. Now, the initial list had most of the state of West Virginia going into the watch, but they've modified that to go tops of the mountains and off to the east of the highest terrain of West Virginia.
What about the flood? The flood watch?
The flood watch continues. And by the way, severe thunderstorm warning is wrapping up across Raleigh County. That goes for about the next 15 minutes. Because that thunderstorm rolled through Beckley, it was a pretty good thunderstorm. So we do have some wind damage, possibly that's going to be right south of Madison, just off to the north and northeast of Logan. So that's from the storms earlier. But the flood watch goes all the way through into tonight. 11 o'clock tonight, and that is because we are going to have more rounds of showers and storms. I mean, we just put down, in some cases, across parts of Lincoln County, we put down nearly 2 inches worth of rainfall.
Yeah, in a short amount of time.
And so what the concern is for later this evening tonight, any storms that move across, I would not be surprised to have flash flood warnings coming out of Lincoln County later on today.
All right. What about other areas? Can you see other areas?
Other areas, listen, it's going to be anywhere from Wayne County, out Wayne, all the way through Charleston, and then also up I-79 on the southern side of I-79. So in the higher terrain, because of the significant rainfall that's going through now, and then what we could have later on.
It is interesting, though, because you mentioned some of the counties in the Eastern Panhandle. When I had you on the local show this morning, that wasn't a concern.
Yeah.
At that just shows you how quickly, even with the best meteorologists in the business, how quickly weather can change.
It can, and that's what's so interesting. All we need is just a little bit of sunshine, And I saw some sunlight out there just a bit ago.
Yeah.
And you just need a little bit of that sunshine, and it can make things pop. And
you don't want that.
Yeah, you do. You really don't want that. It can go to an entirely new level. And the other thing is that we were not looking at the tornado threat. The tornado threat is low today, but this morning the tornado threat was 0.
Yeah.
And now the tornado threat has increased a touch more as we've
Still
gone to the
very low,
afternoon.
though.
Still very
Still
low,
very low.
but still, it's just one of those things. The dynamics of the atmosphere are constantly changing. We are in a constant state of flux.
But we are going to get much, much better the next couple of days in just about all of West Virginia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful weather.
Beautiful weather. Tomorrow we'll have some fog around the region. Another round of fog on Wednesday morning. Thursday, we shouldn't have much fog at all. But by Thursday night on into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rain, shower, and thunderstorm chances are going up there. And then, of course, we got to look ahead to next week because it's 4th of July and we got a big party to show.
Yeah. It's a big birthday party here in Charleston and everywhere because America's 250. And, of course, the regatta's going on. I just talked to the folks down in my hometown, the city of Logan. They're getting ready for their West Virginia Freedom Festival, which starts tomorrow. Miss Amber's a little bit concerned about this weekend.
I know.
They got Leanne Rhymes coming, and she's a little bit. John Schneider, from the Dukes of Hazzard.
By the way, great concert. No one would ever thought John Schneider could put on a heck of a concert. He absolutely can.
He's doing the Star Spangled Banner down there for him.
Well, I would expect him to do something more than the Star Spangled Banner. Yeah. It's at some point he's going to have to ride that car all the way across the stage and go across.
That's exactly. And there's plenty of places in Logan you can do
You
that.
absolutely can. Isn't there a racetrack down there?
Yeah.
Drag strip.
We call it Corridor G. Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes. We're back after this.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. An update on your forecast for your Monday. Still be weather aware today and into tonight. It'll be another forecast where we have some risks with heavy rain and strong storms again. A number of us in the state have flood watches, watching for the potential of flooding. Keep eyes on streams and rivers too. It's listed until 11 o'clock tonight in Charleston. Check locally for timing, but generally probably the same. 1 to 2 inches of rain listed in the watch. Locally higher amounts are possible as well. We'll have to watch for a risk of excessive rain again. Had a high of 83 on your Happy Father's Day and summer solstice, near to below average for that. Trace of rain yesterday. Now will be favored for accumulations today that could be on the higher side again. Slight risk of severe weather for most too, mostly for damaging wind potential with severe components today in some eastern, northeastern areas. Can't rule out a brief spin up of a tornado or some damaging or some large hail too. And with the excessive rainfall potential, we have a slight risk, so be mindful of flash flooding occurs again too. We have we'll call it a warm front that's near stationary this morning. That'll power northeast at some point, and then a sweeping cold front comes in again today through early tonight. Risks up, strong to severe weather and heavy rain. For a Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Got some heat in Florida, some mid to upper 90s. Some areas out there, Tampa 96 approaching a daily record high. In northern areas, be mindful of rain, storms, mid to upper 70s. Panhandle spots, watching for risks of severe weather, heavy and excessive rain. East to west, risks of heavy and excessive rain, scattered severe storms into the south as well. Charleston, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, likely dry morning fog. And then Thursday night onwards, more chances of some showers and storms. Some highs in the mid to upper 80s in there, so we'll have to watch for more chances of rain after a couple of days with a break. Thursday night onwards into the weekend, some more chances of rain and storms.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you I was a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. with Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Visit loc.gov/vets today.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 minutes away from 3 o'clock, and as I said, tomorrow is the 10th anniversary of the devastating floods that impacted so many areas of West Virginia. And we are going to be telling positive stories all week, too. We're going to spend some time on, well, I don't want to say on the negative, but on the truth of the matter. And with people like Jeff Campbell and others, we'll talk to a few of the mayors of these communities and so on and so forth. I know Jeff Jenkins this past weekend went down on Saturday, actually drove down to Rainelle and hung out with the mayor there a little bit. I think she drug him out on a pickleball court. And the woman, the mayor, God love her, Mayor Andy down there is like, I think 75, 80 years old. And she's out there playing pickleball with Jeff Jenkins, probably winning too. So we're going to spend some time talking about that, but we're also going to spend some time talking about the positive aspects. And that's one of the things that Jeff Campbell and I were talking about, some of these communities, how they've taken a negative and turned it into a positive proof point, the city of Clendenin, not far from where we are in downtown Charleston. I mean, that city, I mean, there was good that came out of that, and they made the best of a really, really bad situation. That community's thriving now with restaurants, stores, and so on and so forth. So you could have never have told me that, or anyone in that community 10 years ago, starting 10 years ago tomorrow. I mean, I was up there when I was working in state government. I went back a year later, not even a year, maybe 8 to 10 months after the flooding, and it looked like it had just happened. I mean, that's how devastating, because a flood of that, as Bryan said, of biblical proportions, you don't just recover from with a couple of mop buckets. I mean, it takes a lot to recover. And, God bless those people in Rainelle and White Sulphur Springs and Clendenin and Elkview and all those areas that have just rebounded incredibly. And we're going to be telling you their stories throughout the week. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text, I love talking about TJ. When people text me and trash Wilson and Meadows, I love it. I'm kidding. Text says TJ has a bad case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Knowing Mr. Meadows like I do, I will say he is not a Trump fan. But to say he has Trump derangement syndrome, probably not. He is just pointing out as he sees it. And look, he pointed out some positive things that he thought that President Trump had done. So I don't think that's really the definition of Trump derangement syndrome. And when I read that, I appreciate the text. And that kind of got me to thinking when I read that text when it came in, that you remember during the Obama administration, I can remember I had a lot of issues with President Barack Obama. I did, mainly because of coal. And at the time that President Barack Obama was elected, I was living and working in Logan County at a radio station that depended on coal for everything, every aspect of life, one way or the other. So I had a lot of major issues with President Obama. Not personally, didn't think he would. Never thought that Barack Obama, in my opinion, was a bad guy. I just had definite policy disagreements with him. And I remember back in the day that people would make comments like, that like racism was involved. And I remember thinking then, you can disagree with someone of color without being a racist. My problem is not with Barack Obama, the guy. As I said, it was with his policies. And the same with Trump. I think you can call out President Trump without having Trump derangement syndrome. That's just me. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. It's open line, West Virginia. Text says, I've had enough of people complaining about the bike event in Charleston. Heard Danny Jones this morning saying people couldn't get to a certain restaurant in Charleston. You can get to any restaurant you wanted to in Charleston. I know my family and I had no problems. Get over it, people. It's a good event for Charleston. Referencing the USA Pro Road National Championships, which just wrapped up yesterday. And look, I know it's not for everybody, and I also know that I don't live in Charleston, but I do work here. And you go back and you look at some of the videos of those people that were having one big old party up in South Hills and on Bridge Road yesterday. It didn't look like they had an issue with it. Of course, yesterday was a beautiful day and so on and so forth. But people are going to complain, and this is true of every town in West Virginia and every town in America that claim that they have a problem with there's nothing to do, but then you give them something to do, and then they don't want a little inconvenience. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says these politicians and companies need to listen to the people of West Virginia. We don't want or need data centers. Well, I don't know the fact that I can't agree with the fact that we don't need data centers, because as badly as our country is addicted to their devices, and now we've taken it into a whole other realm with AI and all these things. Need, yeah, we need them. Want it to be done responsibly, but we need them. Text says, I've been down here in Florida where you used to see Trump on every corner. They are tired of his bull crap. Can't find nothing Trump down here. Well, appreciate the text. I'm going to say that's probably not true for most of West Virginia, though. They're still on the Trump train. Text, hey, Dave, great video about your dad for Father's Day. My dad was a very complex guy, too. I think it comes with being a dad. Well, I don't know. On one hand, people have told me I'm a complex individual, and I'm not a dad. I'm just crazy. And then sometimes I think I'm a really complex individual, and then sometimes I think, I like cheese. I like cheese a lot. So I don't know how complex that is. But I appreciate it. It was, they're referencing, I do these, as I mentioned earlier, I do these things from time to time on my social media called a Dave Tutorial. And Father's Day being yesterday, I did a little video about my dad, who I lost in 2014. Many of you can relate to that. And my father and I had a very, very good relationship at times and a very bad relationship at times. Probably describes 95% of you out there. It probably does. And but we were able to work it out. We had three, by my estimation, we had 3 times in our life that we basically had nothing to do with each other. My parents divorced when I was 5, and for 10 years, I had basically no contact with my dad. Now, he wasn't a deadbeat dad, as I said on the video. He paid his child support, but that was about it. And then we reconnected, and then something else happened when I was of college age, and a couple of years with nothing. Then we had a good 20-year run, and then something else happened. But we got it together there toward the end. And my statement on the video I did is if you can, whatever is wrong, make it right. Make it right. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text, Trump's cement pond was a failure. Now he's blaming others for non-union work. First time I've heard it referred to as a cement pond. Shout out Beverly Hillbillies. Text says, rain today. We've had 3 straight great weather days. Would have been great to have patched some potholes, says the texter. Text, Florida alligator Alcatraz shutting down. Just another one of Trump's failures. Now they're going to put him on a prenup because a penny is worthless, says the texter. We have a lot of water here, says the texter. Why does the water cost so much? I ain't a hydrologist. I can't answer that. Text, a Biden staffer is finally coming forward regarding Biden's real cognitive decline. What will the liberals do now? I just caught a bit of this yesterday, a speech that Hillary Clinton gave. Maybe during the break I'll do a little research on it. I just happened to have on one of the news shows yesterday morning, and I saw a speech, I think from last week, that Hillary Clinton gave. And she was saying something to the effect of, and again, I'm very, very much paraphrasing here, but she was basically calling out, without calling out, Joe Biden and his decline and his failed attempt at being reelected. And the only thing I could think when I saw that is, where were you in the moment, Miss Clinton? Where were you in the moment? Didn't hear a whole lot. It is 2:43. We will take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Come check out this 2026 Sierra 3500 all-wheel drive and dual rear wheels crew Denali and this 2026 Sierra HD chassis cab. Both built to work. If your job demands more, they both deliver. You can build it your way from the ground up with a chassis cab or get the fully loaded, ready-to-work Denali crew cab dually. Custom or complete, they are both ready for work. At Dan Cabot GMC, shop the world.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
West Virginia is home. It's where we work, live, and raise our families. At the heart of our communities are West Virginia hospitals and their compassionate caregivers. From life-saving treatments and emergency care to wellness support and screening services, we are improving your quality of life through extraordinary achievements and amazing results. West Virginia Hospitals. Your health is the heartbeat of our communities.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Welcome back to the show. 13 away from 3 o'clock. You heard from Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes a little bit earlier. If you want to hear more of Bryan and his team of Metro News meteorologists, it's real simple. Download the Metro News television app, and you can follow Bryan, and you can also follow Bryan and Steve meteorologists on social media as well through Metro News Television weather. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. I caught something here during the break. You may have heard this story about this cross burning in Chicago that captured the attention of everybody. I mean, apparently we thought it was 2026. I mean, who's still burning crosses? Well, a gentleman has been taken into custody and actually had a court appearance earlier today. This gentleman says that he did it as a protest against Donald Trump and that it was not racial in nature. Now, we all know what cross burnings have symbolized over the years, but he says, for his part, that it was a protest against Donald Trump, against the what was the term I think he used, the financially elite and the ruling class, and he built the cross himself, wrapped it in toilet paper, put a MAGA hat in the middle of it, and then set it ablaze in Chicago. And immediately, I'm sure you've seen the video right now. I saw it a couple of weeks ago. People automatically thought it was a racial thing, which one would be led to think because that's what it has traditionally been used. But apparently, it was a protest against Donald Trump. The gentleman was in court in Chicago today. All right, I mentioned the comments from Hillary Clinton. Research there during the break. She stated, she did an interview, a sit-down interview that was filmed, though, with David Remick of The New Yorker. She did this on June 16th. Hillary stated that President Biden made a, quote, terrible mistake and a terrible miscalculation by deciding to run for re-election. And she said that the bid was, again, a terrible mistake for himself, his legacy, and for the country. And that she also said that he had previously indicated he would not run again, which she believes upset people within the Democratic Party and their plans. She went on to say during the interview that if Joe Biden had announced in late summer of 2023 that he was not going to seek a second term, it would have allowed for a competitive primary, and that whoever won that contest would have ultimately beaten Donald Trump, who won the election. Again, my question for Hillary Clinton is, where were you then? Because I do not remember her making those comments at that particular. Remember all the comments from a lot of the Democrats? I had people on this show. Oh, he's fine. He's fine. I mean, it's like, are you watching the same thing that we're watching here? Are you watching the same thing? Same could be said about the current holder of the White House as well. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, the only person who's saying all these assassination attempts against the president were staged are people like you. I did not say. The local show in Charleston today, I was saying that in his column, he does a weekly column in the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Phil Kabler, on his Saturday column, kind of called into question some of these or some of the actions on some of these assassination attempts. I was just reiterating what he said. I was not saying that myself. Text, West Virginia Day got upstaged by Juneteenth, but I still love my home state. So why can't you have both? Just saying. Text, the money that was released to Iran by the Obama administration was $400 million that Iran paid for military equipment that was not delivered, plus interest on the payment. The U.S. government had the money. It didn't come from taxpayers. An international court found the impoundment of the money was illegal, says the texter. Text, Biden and Trump are and were too old to function properly. I would agree. That's not ageist on my part, because there's probably some people of those ages, those respective ages, that would do just fine. Those two, not so much, in my opinion. Text, Trump is so getting played by Iran. If we can't handle a country like Iran, how will we handle Russia or China? We're doomed, says a texter. Text says, the New York Times is publishing opinions telling people to skip the D.C. events planned for America 250. That, along with several Democrat-led states abstaining from the celebration at the Great American Fair. Yet they claim it's President Trump dividing the nation. It won't set aside politics and hatred for anything. I pray we hold it together until our 300th. Text says, if you don't like data centers, stop using your cell phone. Text, the fact that country roads is literally taking over the world right now is amazing. Leave it to West Virginia to save the world. That is a good place to leave it right there on a positive note at 2:53. We'll wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
At Dan Cabot GMC, now get up to $12,000 off any 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Lisa 2026 GMC Canyon Elevation for only $575 per month. At Dan Cabot GMC, shop the world.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
A heartbeat is more than a rhythm. It's a life in motion. At the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, we bring world-class care to our communities, combining advanced technology, groundbreaking treatments, and the expertise of nationally recognized heart, lung, and vascular specialists. Because we're not just treating conditions, we're restoring moments, movement, and meaning. In medicine, we restore lives. WVU Heart and Vascular Institute.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Justice.org.
Welcome back to the show. We got about 3 minutes in front of 3 o'clock. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Ryan Nicholson, Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. Look who's here. Walks in here with his new computer case. You know, you can't hide money, man.
No, that's right.
You can't hide money. He's showing me off. He's showing me his new laptop case. First thing he does, Mr. Weekly does, he comes in, he changes the channel, puts it on. What is this?
Your show's ending. Show's ending.
What is this?
Hey, Argentina 1-0. 93rd minute. Messi has scored for Argentina.
Is this what they call soccer, right?
This is what they call the soccer.
I had attorney Rusty Webb on the local show in Charleston this morning trying to convince me why I need to care about this.
Oh, he's a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
PSG's his team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Don't worry. Just roll with it.
Okay. And so, but I understood, though, in talking, because he was taking it more from not the soccer aspect of it, but the cultural phenomenon that it is with all these people coming to America and discovering ranch dressing. Have you seen those videos?
It's in the show today.
Okay.
It's in the show today.
And so for that, maybe I would have to. My problem is, and I got into soccer when Marshall won the national championship. I watched it, but I didn't know what I was watching. I was just watching, yay, run, kick,
yay, run.
Yay. What the hell am I looking at?
Well, listen, I mean, if you don't like it, it's okay.
Well, it's not I don't like it. I guess I just don't understand it.
Dude, here's the thing. Yeah. In terms of this, we've aged out.
Well, that's true.
Okay, we've aged out. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. It's past you. Don't worry about it. We've aged out, bro.
And growing up in southern West Virginia, soccer was not exactly big. Okay, now I will say it is now pretty big, but there were no soccer leagues in 1978 in Logan County. I can tell you that.
Oh man, I got stories.
You got soccer
I got
stories?
stories. Yeah.
All right. What you got on the show today?
Well, did you hear about Dusty May leaving Michigan?
No.
Head basketball coach of the reigning NCAA champs leaving Michigan for the Dallas Mavs.
Okay, actually, I did see that.
So
yeah.
why have college basketball coaches been so unsuccessful in the NBA?
It's true in NFL too. I mean, there's been some. I mean,
there's a few.
I mean, we all remember Nick Saban. I mean, there was a few.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. That's coming up on Hotline in many of these same Metro News stations, and there are guys in a group hugging and screaming. Go,
it's called a goal, dude.
Go, run,
Sporty sports.
Hug. I will see you all tomorrow. Be safe out there. Till tomorrow. Have fun. Love somebody.